Good morning. I'm John Ellsworth with Success Strategies. I'm the founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage, and now the creator of the new Success Strategies Business Navigator program, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. Today's presentation, though, is entitled Staying the Course. There seems to be a lot of concern, and to some extent is rightfully so, about the coronavirus. From a health standpoint, obviously, we should have some big concerns, and I totally agree with the level of concern about that. But there's also a lot of concerns about international trade, and my suggestion to you is let's not overreact, but rather I'd suggest don't overreact. I know for the news, if it bleeds, it leads, and all those good, wonderful expressions. But the reality is, you and I are not selling newspapers. So, a couple points I'd like to make. Number one, in our globally connected world, and we are globally connected in our economies with the rest of the world, this really should be a total surprise. And along that same line, will worrying about this really help? I think the answer to that, you'll agree, is no. So I'd say let's stay informed, but let's, as I said earlier, not overreact. Point number two, in a globally connected economy, as I described it a few minutes ago, um, is it realistic to expect that we would get 12 straight months without any ripples? And the answer to that is probably no, because the news tends to overreact to most things. And in all fairness, aside from the health effects, I think we need to stay the course with this and ride it out. Here are 6 steps in answer to the question, what can we do? So what can we do? I think number one, you always should have a plan in place. Maybe it's too late today to set your milk prices because the future prices have been on a downward trend, of course. So do we really want to lock in a low price? Maybe not. You need to look at your individual situation to determine that. But we should always have a marketing plan in place for milk. And I know all the brokerage companies are going to love me for saying this, but this is even true if all you look at is the DRP program, the Dairy Revenue Protection Program, especially when the cost of the puts involved with that program to put a floor under your milk price only, it's 40 to 45% subsidized by the federal government. And I don't know how you could beat that. So set them at or near your break-even levels, or even above it if you can get them that high. Point number two, do you know your break-even levels? Do you know what they are? Break-even levels are for milk price per hundredweight? How about for feed cost per hundredweight? Or how about pounds of milk per cow per day? These are all crucial factors, and you need to learn them and use them as a guide. Clients that I work with know their break-even prices, and they adjust their course accordingly and set their marketing plan around them. And if you need help with that, I am available. You can reach me through my website, which is right behind my head. So you can certainly refer to that. Shoot me an email. I'm not going to charge you for responding to that. I'd be happy to visit with you about it. Excuse me. Point number three, what can we do? Is it a crisis? Probably. Maybe it is. But the reality is exports of our dairy products are down. I have to think that maybe, just maybe, there's some feed buying opportunities because the exports for the feed products should also be down. Are there some feed buying opportunities that we need to grab in this downturn? So this would be kind of like the silver lining of the cloud. Is it a crisis? Perhaps on exporting dairy products, but likewise, maybe there's some lower cost per ton prices you can lock up on the feed side. And anybody that stands there and tells you that there's no such thing is probably not somebody you want to deal with. Look a little deeper, search a little farther. I think you can find it. You don't own the feed company a living, and I'm sorry if they're offended at this, but the reality is this, if it's an opportunity for buyers of dairy products that we're selling to, it's also an opportunity for feed buying opportunities for you as a producer. Number four, check your revenue and expense levels regularly. I would say at least monthly. Monthly is probably enough, but that's typically what I do with my clients because I want you to remember what I've said. You've heard me say it several times if you watch my videos. If you measure something, you can understand it. If you understand it, you can control it. And guess what? If you can control it, you can improve it. And this, my friends, is exactly what success is all about. Measure it, understand it, control it, and then ultimately improve it, which is exciting. And that's what success really is about. Point number 5. If you have a plan in place, the title of this was entitled what? This presentation, Stay the Course. If it made sense when you made the plan, then it's probably going to make sense now. Your revenue may be down, but it's not going to go to zero. And are your expenses up? They may be, but they're not going to be double what they normally would be. And so let's keep this in perspective and adjust these as needed, as necessary, but just don't do things like cutting feed costs so drastically that we hurt the herd's performance, because then you have long-term implications and your herd will suffer at least until each cow has calved back in, freshened into the herd again, and that's really detrimental to your overall performance. My final point, number 6, if you are in the midst of an expansion or major changes, stay on track. If it made sense in the massive 4.5-year downturn from January of 2015 through the middle of 2019, if these changes made sense then in a downturn to make you more efficient, to make you more profitable, it likely will work out well for you long term. Does it still seem reasonable today? If so, again, stay the course. Stay the course and play for the long game. And you will be a survivor, and you'll be the beneficiary of these positive changes and improvements that you're making, or an expansion that you're going through. Besides, if you're partway through it, the toughest thing is to get partway through something like that, be carrying the burden of the interest expense, additional interest expense, and not have the additional revenue or improved profitability to go with it. That's tough. My final imparting thoughts, I want to make you aware that our Success Strategies Business Navigator program begins on April 17th, and it's 100% online. So if you're worried about the coronavirus, I guarantee you this will free you completely from travel. You can do it at your computer. Everybody else will be at their computer, including me. We're going to be talking about things like financial analysis, banking, general management, and milk marketing, just to hit on a few of the topics in these quarterly sessions over the next 12 months. But the first one is actually coming up April 17th, 2020. And I suggest you check out, there's a free preview class, which is about 30 to 35 minutes long, but it'll give you an idea kind of what we're doing, and actually going through that exercise, whether you sign up or not, will prepare you for a bigger and better future. So check it out. Again, you can check that at successstrategies.com. That address is right behind me. I'd suggest you look into it. Take advantage of the free course. I promise we won't barrage you to death with emails afterwards. You'll just provide us your email so we know who's looking at it. And I want to thank you for listening today. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage, as well as the new Business Navigator program. And I wish you the best of success this year. Thank you very much.